What's up? Hey, are you the kind of folks that like to travel and seek out fun and adventure, but you don't like to spend a whole lot of money doing it? Well, you're in the right place because we're going to show you how you can take a 7 week, 7,000 mile epic travel adventure of a lifetime, coast to coast, cross country on the back roads of the Transamerica Trail and do the whole thing for less than $3,500. So come on, follow us. Let's go do it. What is it that causes people to want to get out of their normal, everyday situations and explore? What is it that calls us to travel, to seek out adventure, to see things that others have not? In May of 2023, we heard such a call and set off on an epic journey that would change our lives. This is our story. Join us as we share this incredible tale of the amazing things that we saw and did. This is the Transamerica Trail series.
We had a phenomenal campsite, and I hope that sometime in the future we'll be able to go back to this campground. I'd like to take some of the Dirty Bunch and go check out this campsite, stay a little bit longer, and actually find some off road trails.
Good morning. We're on the road early this morning. Well, early. It's what, 9 o'clock if we're rolling. It feels really early because we got such a late night last night. It was a long day yesterday. So we
I do not want to rinse and repeat.
Yeah, we had a long day, 15-hour driving day yesterday. So we're not rolling as early as we would like to this morning. And we're just honestly, we're waking up to see just how beautiful the Sherando Lake Campground is. This is an amazing campground. If you're going to be in the Virginia area, you're looking for a campground, we would highly recommend this one. It's set right in the Sherando Mountains. It's really, truly spectacular. Our campground was right on a stream last night, so we could hear the creek running all night. We're getting back on the Transamerica Trail where we left off last night, and we're going to be heading west.
The sun coming through the trees is masking the potholes in the road, so you don't know that you're there. You can't dodge them until you're on them, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, there's another one. Big bump hiding in the shadow.
The Transamerica Trail begins in Ripley, West Virginia, heads east, and then makes a big sweeping bend down south before it starts heading back west. But we didn't start the trail in Ripley, West Virginia. We wanted to be able to go coast to coast on the Transamerica Trail. And so we began our adventure at the Atlantic Ocean Spur, and that starts in Nags Head. And it works its way up and it kind of connects right there in Virginia. From there, it's roughly 175 miles of trail to reach Ripley. From the campground at Sherando Lake to the end of the Atlantic Ocean Spur, it's about 152 miles. Knowing that the average tat rider covers about 200 miles or so a day, we estimated that we would be able to at least get 25 miles an hour on this part of the trail. We were concerned about that, and we knew that even if we could do that, it'd take us more than 12 hours to get from Sherando Lake Campground over to Ripley. After yesterday's miscalculations, though, we were very concerned. So we needed to start talking about a backup plan. Ultimately, we decided that if we weren't making good time by the time we got to that end point of the Atlantic Ocean Spur, we would get off the trail, get on a main road, drive to Charleston, and then spend the night at a hotel. And then that would put us where the next day we could just skip over to Ripley, which is only 20 minutes away, and start the Transamerica Trail where it's intended to be started there in Ripley.
This drive through the Forest Service roads we were just talking about, this reminds us a lot of the trip we did back in October of 2022 with the Dirty Bunch Jeep Club when we went on the Georgia Traverse. That was one of our favorite trails.
Yeah,
It was just a weekend ride. I think we did 3 days on the trail, winding from the east side of the trail down towards the middle of it. By the way, we're going to go back this October and do the other half of that trail with them. But that trail was very much like this, a lot of the winding forest roads, and it's very, very beautiful. It's very, very peaceful. These types of trails are some of our favorites.
Hey, Boomer, what did the 0 say to the 8? That belt looks good on you.
All right, guys. Well, we just finished up the track AOS 5. So that's the fifth segment, the fifth track coming when you come from the ocean and coming back towards West Virginia. I got to say, that fifth track, that AOS 5, that's been my favorite one so far. Once you go from 4 to 5, it really begins to move into the more mountainous roads. Just know that when you go through there, you're going to average probably more like 20 miles an hour.
Plus.
Yeah, but the scenery is just spectacular. I mean, I can't even tell you how many deer we saw today. By the way, I am the world's worst at catching live deer footage when they're on the road. I have a knack for looking away at just the right time, and then there they are. And that happened to us a couple times today. All right, well, we got to a section of the trail that was really bizarre because you could tell that they'd been running the machineries through and chopping down trees, grinding up stumps that were like right on the edge of the trail. We were making really good time down the trail, and then we reached that section, had to slow down because with the freshly ground areas and stuff, there were, some areas where we were afraid we might catch a tree branch that was down, or maybe a stump or something that might puncture a tire. Now, we finally got to a point and found the tractors where they were working on the road. And now that we've passed that, we can see what the road looked like evidently before, and we can see why they're doing it. We've really had to slow down. Now that we're on the other side of it, we've had to slow down dramatically because the road's been rougher and the trees have grown up really close to the trail in some places. Now, what we've been wondering is whether or not they're actually widening that road so that they can expand construction, because sometimes you see that you'll go from a single lane mountain road to a double lane mountain road, and then the next thing you know, here comes the development. They start building homes, and then within a year or two, now they're paving that road. I don't know if that's what's going on here, or if these narrow paths are just needing to get expanded, and it's really just going to stay this way. I don't know. I guess we'll have to come back in a few years and see what's happened. We watched a ton of videos about the Transamerica Trail before we actually took this trip because we wanted to learn as much as we could beforehand. One thing that we heard in several videos was that the east half of the trail was just boring, that there was really nothing to see, and things didn't even get interesting until New Mexico or Colorado. Well, with all respect to people that feel that way, we strongly disagree. We feel like the imagery of the undeveloped east is simply spectacular. But we want to know what you say. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this area beautiful or is it boring? Well, as you can hear, the squeak continues. We've determined that it's the rubber seals on the outside of the Jeep on the roof rack. So we've got a new roof rack on here.
Front runner, slimline 2.
The front runner slimline 2.
We've been using it for road stuff, but this is the first time we've taken it on trails. And it's really, really making a lot of noise. It's not that it's not tight, although we're going to try and tighten it down and get rid of that sound because, I mean, listen to that. You listen to that all day, it's enough to make you insane. And try to find out what that is. But if you know what that is, please let us know because we've got to find a way to make that stop.
As we approached the end of the Atlantic Ocean spur, it was clear to us that there was no way we were possibly going to be able to get to Ripley today.
So we made the decision to alter course. When we get to the end of the Atlantic Ocean spur, we would get off the Transamerica Trail, get on the main roads, and head over to Charleston, West Virginia.
We got through with sections 5, 6, and 7 today. So it took us to do 5, 6, and 7. It's about 130 miles. Took us about 7.5 hours to do that. By the time we got to the end of section 7, it was 4:30 in the afternoon. So we're just going to go ahead and hop off of the trail, get on the main roads, scoot over to Charleston, stay in a hotel tonight. Then tomorrow we'll drive over to Ripley in the morning and start the trail the way that it's intended to be. So that's the plan for tonight. We should come rolling into the hotel in Charleston about 7:30 tonight and just try to get a few things done so that we can get back on the trail in the morning.
Please join us next time as we start the day in Ripley, then head east into the narrow, winding, and beautiful roads of the Transamerica Trail. The Best Life Adventure Channel's Transamerica Trail series is brought to you by Extreme Jeeps and Trucks in Orlando, Florida, and by RCI Jeep and 4x4 in Melbourne, Florida.